Supercross fans have long known Daniel Blair as a trusted voice in the commentary booth, someone who didn't just narrate the action, but had also lived it firsthand. However, in 2023, Blair made a decision that caught many by surprise. He stepped away from his commentary role. The announcement left fans wondering, why would someone so deeply ingrained in the sport and seemingly comfortable in his role decide to walk away? In a 40-minute video, Blair addressed the reasons behind his departure, providing insight into the pressures and challenges that led to his decision. Blair's journey as a commentator was never dull. As a former rider and passionate Supercross enthusiast, he brought a unique insider's perspective to the broadcast, which made him a fan favorite. However, over time, he felt the weight of commercial expectations growing heavier. What started as an opportunity to share his love for the sport increasingly became a role dictated by corporate interests. The emphasis shifted from providing raw, insightful analysis to catering to mass appeal and marketing strategies. Blair admitted that these changes made him feel increasingly disconnected from a sport he once knew and loved. It was no longer about giving the fans something real. It was more about selling a product, Blair later explained. His initial enthusiasm was rooted in the authenticity of Supercross, but the evolving demands of the broadcast began to strip away the very essence of what made the job special for him. Another challenge he faced was the shift in his role as a commentator. Blair was advised to tone down his insider perspective and adopt a more neutral stance, which he felt diminished his value to the broadcast. His ability to break down races from an experienced rider's standpoint set him apart, but being asked to abandon that perspective left him feeling like just another generic voice in the booth. If you tell me to give up my insider perspective, I lose what defines me as a commentator, he explained, emphasizing that this request fundamentally altered his approach to the job. Beyond the structural changes in the broadcast, Blair also experienced increasing tension with fellow commentator Ricky Carmichael. As a former Supercross champion, Carmichael held a dominant presence in the booth, and their dynamic grew strained over time. Blair recalled a particularly negative broadcast that led to a group message from Carmichael shortly before another show, a moment that solidified his realization that the collaboration was no longer what it used to be. Blair felt an underlying pressure in their interactions, and even publicly, Carmichael's jokes at his expense started to feel more personal. It was as if my own career and passion were being questioned, Blair reflected. His decision to step away wasn't based on a single event, but rather a culmination of experiences. The growing commercialization of the sport, the loss of his unique perspective, and the tension within the commentary team all contributed to his feeling of detachment. I didn't want to pretend to the fans. I wanted to continue to offer them something real. But what I had to do at that point was no longer me, he admitted. However, Blair's departure from the commentary booth doesn't mark the end of his involvement in Supercross. Instead, he is shifting his focus to what matters most to him, the fans and the genuine love of the sport. I don't want to be just another marketing product. I want something real, something that resonates with the fans, Blair stated. He hopes to reconnect with the sport in its purest form, free from corporate pressures. Rather than being confined to the broadcast booth, he aims to work with the next generation of riders, passing on his knowledge and helping young athletes navigate their careers. Despite the changes in the industry, Blair remains optimistic about Supercross's future. It's not about the hype or the marketing. It's about the connection between the riders and the fans. About celebrating what Supercross is all about, he said. He firmly believes that the heart of the sport lies in the relationships it fosters and the passion it ignites. Moving forward, Blair intends to stay involved with the Supercross community in an authentic way. I've always wanted to stay true to myself and my fans, he concluded, and that's what I will continue to do. Meanwhile, on the racing front, McAdoo has made the difficult decision to withdraw from the 2025 Supercross season to undergo surgery on his torn ACL, an injury he had attempted to push through during the first two rounds. The Monsterenergy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider had initially aimed to power through the season despite the injury, but the physical toll proved too great. Reflecting on his struggles, McAdoo shared his reasoning behind stepping away. I didn't race the main event in Daytona last weekend. After practice and the heat race, there were a few moments on track that made me realize I was very low on strength in my leg. My safety, and the safety of all the other riders on track, is the most important thing. McAdoo explained that as much as he wanted to continue competing, racing at the highest level had become unsafe given the limitations of his injured knee. The team and I came together to make the decision to get my knee fixed up. It's a tough decision for me. "I always want to be out on track giving it my all, but it was time," he said. Surgery has been scheduled for Thursday, and McAdoo is now looking ahead to recovery and rehabilitation. While he acknowledges the disappointment of missing the season, he remains focused on the bigger picture, healing properly and returning at full strength. "I'm looking forward to getting fixed up and coming back stronger," he affirmed. Though the 2025 Supercross season will go on without McAdoo on the track, his determination and resilience will undoubtedly see him back in action when the time is right. For now, fans and fellow riders alike will be rooting for his successful recovery and return to the sport he loves.